Okay, and another interview that was very special to me was the son of my all-time favorite hero, the legendary Hank Williams Sr.'s son, Bocephus Hank Williams Jr. Now, I had seen Hank a time or two before in concert, but in October of 1977, Hank Williams Jr. was performing at the Charlotte Coliseum, the old Coliseum, and I think he was opening for someone who used to open for him. Waylon Jennings was the headliner. Hank, of course, was recovering from his horrific fall off Mount Ajax in Missoula, Montana. And I think we connected on a certain level. My mother had died in August 1977, and Hank's mother, Audrey, had died just before that interview. And I think that we sort of shared the sense of loss and depression that inevitably comes with the death of someone as special and as close as a mother. So we talked, and he said that I just played on Ray Price's tribute album to Daddy. He said, I'm standing there all wired up playing a dobro. I think it was Mansion on the Hill or something like that. But I found Hank Williams Jr. to be a very pleasant, probably the easiest person I ever interviewed, and I'll tell you why. You give him a subject, and he runs with it. And you just sort of steer him where you want him to go. And he was very cordial to me. And of course, a tremendous honor to interview somebody with that much talent. I mean, the songs this man has written, I think Waylon Jennings said one time, made his daddy look like a sharecropper. I don't know that I would say that, but I would say that this man, Hank Williams Jr., has definitely held his own as a singer, as a songwriter, as a musician. And when he is of a mind to it, that man can just absolutely slap an audience into silly putty. Just, really an amazing talent. And I interviewed him another time in York, South Carolina, at the old Possum Holler. It was snowing that night, and I took my friend Stephen Davis, who did the camera work, took pictures, and my cousin Mike Bigger, and Mike, of course, was just thrilled as I was to be there for the interview. But I remember that Hank was wearing a white cap, and it had an obscenity on it. It said "a-hole" on the cap, and Stephen said, Hank, do you mind taking that cap off? We might put these pictures in the local paper. And Hank said, well, I don't see what's wrong with it. He said, hell, it was good enough for Merle Haggard, and he just wouldn't give it to me. And he threw it over on a sofa. And I remember before we got a picture made, I looked up and there was this beautiful, had to be a Stetson cowboy hat. I said, God, I'd like to be wearing that hat in this picture. Dare I ask? And a guy was sitting on the sofa with a woman. And he said, hey, buddy, put this on. He said, you can't get your picture took with old Hank without a hat. So I'm wearing Hank Williams Jr.'s hat in this classic photograph.